let's talk a little bit about what a performance strategist is. Let's talk about that a little bit because this is not just business related. It is personal. You really helped me in a personal way, but it certainly has translated into my business as well.
Absolutely. And that's the key of it. Everything people think that when they usually come to me, either it's an athlete who's trying to get to a national championship or All-American, or I'm working with an athlete right now who wants to get to the Olympics, or I'm working with a business person. People come to me for their reasons, but really what it's about is being their optimum self, their breakthrough, their really envisioning something and then making it happen. So what I do is we understand who they really are. It's like with you, I didn't really change you. What it really was is going, okay, how does Joe see his life? Then how do we actually translate that into what he can do on a daily basis? And when you chunk it down and we have the vision in the future, we reverse engineer that and we can have breakthroughs where people are going, I can't believe this happened. It's just amazing.
Let me give the listeners an example for me. I like telling this story,
Absolutely.
and you're probably bored at hearing this story. But
no, I love it. Breakthroughs are great.
You and we got started. You came over to the house and you said, Joe, can you describe for me what is a positive moment in your life? And I said, oh, man, that's easy. My favorite part of the day is sitting in my recliner, watching a football game, eating pizza.
Right.
And he said, really? And I said, yeah, I like to order pizza, put the box on my lap, and watch TV. And you looked at me and you were real serious, and you said, because we didn't know each other that well.
Right.
Do you have to eat the whole pizza?
Sometimes that. Well, maybe not the whole pizza.
Right. And it was at that moment that I realized, okay, maybe I am excessive in this area. And then you said, I'm going to help you replace that feeling with a healthy feeling.
Absolutely.
And I didn't understand what you meant at that moment.
Right.
And then you just started talking to me, and you started asking me. You didn't give me this.
Right.
You and I did not know I was going to like riding my bike, reading books.
Absolutely right.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
You just said, let's find something else that you really enjoy doing besides nothing, besides physically sitting in that chair,
Eating
right?
the pizza, right.
Right.
Yeah,
so I replaced the recliner with a bike. I mentally love and relax riding the bike.
Right.
And then I replace pizza, which I find this hard to believe you did this to me. As a matter of fact, I'm still a little upset about it. With listening to the audio tapes, books. I love, it's this opportunity for me to learn things. And people don't realize it, but anything you want to learn is out there right now in an audio book of any kind.
Right.
And so that has become my new place to relax. And then I can also still sit in my chair and watch TV, right?
Perfect.
And you gave me that. So describe how you did that. I understand these were my choices. I don't feel like you forced me under gunpoint to do it. But describe how I made that change, because I don't think I could have done it without you and I having that conversation.
Right. So what we're really looking at is when I talk to somebody, I'm looking for what does they really want, what does they really need. So what people will tell me what they really want, usually consciously they'll say, I'm doing this and this is my roadblock. What they really want to do is look at their life and go, okay, how can I get this feeling? Everything starts with feelings. If someone wants $1 million, for example, they don't want $1 million. What they want is what it will give them. So when you're sitting on the couch with a pizza, all I'm looking for is what will it give you, and then
Pizza delicious.
Yeah, it's great. But then we moved it into something here. So where I'm looking at is the area of growth. Growth and happiness, because when we're growing, we're living. And when we're living life and we're growing and we feel like we're actually contributing and doing more, no matter what kind of day or moment we're having, it'll push us to be more for others. And once we jump into that area, well, with you as a bike, and then we start putting on the audios, which you're learning, you're growing, it's building your business, it's affecting your personal life, your business life, all in great areas, well, we start winning automatically. So there's even with one session, I can walk out and I already know it's already made a dynamic change. It's sort of like if I took a pebble and I put it in the water. While it may be a small wave at first, those waves become bigger, and that's what we're doing here.
Let's talk about that, Chris, because I remember you and I first met through Wayne on the show.
Yes.
And I said to you on the show, I'd really like to lose my belly.
Right.
And I wanted you to help me.
Right.
And when we talked off the air, you said, Joe, let's meet because I want to see if you're serious.
Yes.
And so what were you looking for? Like what was it about me that you thought, okay, he's serious? Because I don't know that I was serious at that time, right? I mentally meant what I said. I'd like to lose belly, but I didn't know what serious meant at that time. If you'd have told me it would have taken a year to get here, I'd have said I probably don't want to start.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
and you hit the point in the point. So what reasons come first? So if I'm talking to somebody and I'm working with either athletes or business leaders, or I'm working with young kids, I'm usually looking for exactly what is it. Not people always say, "Well, I want to lose the belly." So what? It's not hard to do. There's a gym 5 miles away. They're easy. It's easy to do. What really say it's the emotion. What is it? What are you willing to do? And have you made a true decision? So when I was talking to you, I'm like, what's it costing you? And what would you get out of it? So even on your worst day, what I'm looking for is on your worst day and worst moment, would you still say, you know what, this is who I am? And then it's also part of changing the identity. It's sort of like a smoker. If I'm working with them, what I'm listening for them is not, hey, I want to try to stop smoking. It's not going to happen. If they say, I'm done, I'm no more, never again, now we've got momentum because they have reasons, either because someone had cancer, or they didn't feel good, or with you with your belly. There was somewhere in the future where you looked at, if I keep down this path, it's not going to end well for me.
Right.
In some form or fashion, probably unconsciously, more or less. So all we got to do is show the unconscious mind that it's making progress and it's winning. And we can design steps around that. That's what we did with you, is we started small. And I didn't say, hey, look, we're going to lose the 60 pounds.
Right, no.
Because you would, well, it's nice. You're like, I can't believe that. I can't. It's like going to the gym with The Rock, for example. Well, it would be good, but if you said, Chris, you and I are going to do a workout, we're going to start 100-pound weights, I'm already done.
Right.
It's never going to happen. But you said, we're going to start with 5-pound weights because that's where you have to start, and we build upon that, I get to win, and I get to grow, and that whole feeling about that, I get to share it with others.
Right. Let's talk just a little bit about you're working with high school and college kids. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So typically when I see kids, either a high school or college, they're athletes. Gymnasts, cheerleaders. I'm working with a couple of All-American wrestlers, baseball. What they're really doing, I'll get a call from the parents or the coach saying, hey, they're not doing this over here. They're talented. They're All-American. They've won trophies. What I'm doing with them is, to be honest, even though they're the great and they're the best, is to have them feel okay about themselves. And we turn that into a driving force. That failure is, what failure really is it's feedback. And feedback is the breakfast of champions. And when they realize that for anyone to be great, you have to fail. You failed when you tied your shoes the first time. You failed when you first started walking, and your ABCs. And they learn it's okay, and that's how you get better. We create the role models and the identities. I'm getting calls left and right going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. 3 months later, and they're doing stuff they haven't done before.